It's time for the stiff one of the week. We've been talking about Vince a little bit here. So this is Jericho. He was doing a Q&A, and he talked about Vince and working for Vince, and particular angle with Triple H, and wanted to see some rehearsal first. So this is what Vince said.
All this sort of thing. I remember one time we were rehearsing it, of me hitting Triple H with a sledgehammer, and Vince would want you to rehearse as if it's real. Well, you can't rehearse if you're really doing it because there's no crowd. The crowd is where you get the vibe and the adrenaline, and the whole kind of energy comes from that. And plus, you're in character when you're in front of the camera. When you're not in front of the camera, you're just hanging out and you're like, you're rehearsing. And Vince would be like, do it harder. And I was like, okay, I'm not in the moment yet. And I remember he goes, oh, you don't want to do it? And this is what he said, and females, please cover your ears if you're easily offended. He goes, what are you, on the rag or something? I remember thinking, you big-eared, big-nosed motherfucker. I'm going to punch you right in your stupid face right now.
You ever get that, Kev? You ever get a Woody on the rag?
Knock that toupee right off his head.
Did you ever get one of those?
We finally built it up, and we had the match.
Did you ever get a You on the Rag, Diesel? Big D?
No.
Okay. I love all Vince stories. I wanted to compile with the hundreds
But see,
of hours.
I wasn't there too long during the fucking let's have a rehearsal thing.
Oh, right.
I remember the first time they fucking said 1 o'clock rehearsals, and I was like, what? I'm fucking like sitting in the back fucking around, and a runner comes looking for me, we got to get out of the building now. We got 7 seconds before the explosives go off. And they're like, they're in the ring waiting on you. I said, for what? Rehearsal. So, I mean, they played the music. Scott and I come down, and I got my fucking script of what I'm supposed to say in my back pocket, folded very nicely. I haven't looked at it yet. It's fucking 1 o'clock. And I'm supposed to know this. And Stephanie said to me, she goes, can I tell you that I'm not, what did she say? How did she put it? You're not putting me at ease with your lack of preparedness. And I was just like, I said, you're kidding me, right? I said, when the time comes, I said, I'll do it. I said, I can't come out here. I said, you want to go like off page? I'll do that. Like if you do it a sitcom, okay, but it's day one, we're off page. I'll just read it. And I just read it, and she got pissed. And I was
This
just
is
like,
the time when you had to stick to the script?
yes. And of course, when the time came and the red light was on, I bullet pointed it. And got fucking screamed at for that. And I'm thinking, it doesn't matter what I say as long as the last thing out of my mouth is the cue for them to start their shit. Right?
Well, is it?
That's
do they
acting
want
101.
Right, you're right, and most directors would be fine with that. But do they want it that way?
Yes, they wanted it that way because they didn't have people that they had been in the business cutting, like they didn't have, number one, we didn't have writers when I was there.
Yeah, well, right.
Like if you came up with your own shit.
But do they want it to protect what the writers have crafted, the message very delicately, or are they just afraid you're going to say something on live TV that they're going to get in trouble for?
No, I don't think it was that at all. I don't think it was that. it could have been, you know, because I was always with I was always with, but you know, it's pretty hard to like after the hand with I always go with the Mark Henry hand, like after that, like when you're worried about what I'm gonna say.
Well, yeah, different time.
I'm not gonna use any of the 7 words, you know.
But I would suggest that it's because a stock price is tied to everything that comes out of all of your mouths on television. So they need to control that message.
I think it was just control in general.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think it was just control because after you win the war, it's like there's no place to go. Then it's like, what are you gonna do? Either you play by you play by that rule, or there's no room for you.
Well, we'll find out next week. Nash and Friends, Stephanie McMahon. Here's the big announcement. That'll be carried
Steph.
everywhere.
Never,
I know.
I've
I'd
never
love to
had
have her here.
I've never had. No, I've just I wouldn't drag her in this shit.
Oh.
What are we gonna do? I'll talk to her about being a mom. I'm not talking wrestling with her.
Rocky Monroe does say, when recording the rant for the WCW games, were you guys given a script or did you just make something up yourself? Some of them felt so forced and corny.
I always did my own. I always said, don't pick me. Go someplace else. I don't want to play. Pick somebody else. I'd always do my own.
For the video games,
yeah.
You're saying, yeah.
They come up and they, pick me. I say, yeah, go on, don't pick me. I don't want you picking me.
So on the game, as I'm scrolling through wrestlers,
yeah, I'm telling
and
you,
they're like, pick me. I get to Nash, and he's like, pick someone else.
I'm telling you, fuck off.
That's great.
Move along.
That's so perfectly you. Chris Hibbler.
I'm not getting paid for this.
When did they do those voiceovers? Did you have to go to a studio, or did they just do it backstage with like a mic
backstage,
and a knob?
Yeah, just some fucking bush league, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, the guy doing it be like, hey, motherfuckers, could you shut up? I got to do this thing. And then you do it, and you go out in the fucking hallway and be right out there yelling with the rest of the idiots.
Like
backstage, just some fucking bush league, you know.
Yeah.
Hey, the guy doing it be like, hey, motherfuckers, could you shut up? I got to do this thing. And then you do it, and you go out in the fucking hallway and be right out there yelling with the rest of the idiots.